Assertive communication is a core skill that can be helpful across many areas of a young client's life. It is also a key skill in refusing substances. Most young clients are in pre-contemplation or contemplation around their substance use, so they may not be ready to directly refuse offers from friends to use. So developing assertive refusal skills can have some very practical benefits.
Cognitive behavior therapy skill sessions with assertion skills are delivered using 6 key elements: introducing the skill and providing a rationale, reviewing the key aspects of the skill, coaching the individual in using the skill. Role plays relevant to their life are helpful here. Having the client practice and demonstrate the skill in session to provide more exposure. Assigning real-life practice, such as life work, and getting a commitment specific to date and time for completing their practice in the upcoming week.
In addition, in teaching youth how to be assertive, it is important that you also A. Help them realize they already possess the skills to say no clearly, and B. Help them to do so without experiencing feelings of shame, embarrassment, or guilt. You can do this by drawing parallels to other situations where your client has successfully refused something, like eating broccoli or lending an iPod to a friend. This process can help your client understand how their feelings about what they are refusing can impact their ability to be assertive.
So when practicing role plays on assertive communication, it's helpful to have the youth refuse something they know they don't want, such as a food they dislike. This can also be a good way to interject humor while at the same time engaging the youth and showing the connection between their feelings and assertiveness. To learn the skill of refusing in a real-life situation, the provider first introduces the topic of assertive communication and then takes the client through several role plays. What you're about to see will take place after the initial discussion to build rapport, talk of the previous week's activities, a review of any use situations, as well as a review of the practice from the previous session.
Olivia, it's great to see you again today. I know the last time that we met, we talked a lot, but today I want to focus on a new skill that I can teach you. So I hope you don't mind if I'm referring to some of my notes from last time as well. But last time you told me that most of your friends use and that you're frequently offered blunts and beer at parties. And I know that that can make it probably difficult to turn down at times.
Yeah.
So today I want to go over a skill that can help you when you're put in these situations. How does that sound?
Okay, I guess.
Great. So now I want to go over some forms of communication that aren't so great in these situations, and I want you to tell me what you think is wrong with them. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, it does.
Let's start by having you offer me some weed and see how I respond. Are you ready?
All right. Should I just go?
Sure, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Come on, let's go match up.
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to quit and I shouldn't be smoking, but I guess if you're going to, it'll be okay if I do too. Now, what was wrong with that?
You weren't really saying what you wanted. You didn't stick up for yourself. It seemed like you were kind of just doing what I wanted to do.
Exactly, and that's what we call passive communication. Now, people who react passively often give up what they want to do in favor of what somebody else wants to do. What are some other problems that could happen when being passive?
Well, you aren't going to get what you want. You could just do something because other kids said to do it, even if you didn't want to.
Right, people who react passively usually don't get what they want. Now, I want you to offer me weed again, and I'm going to react with another form of negative communication.
All right. Come on, let's go get high.
No, I already told you I quit. What is wrong with you? Now, what was wrong with that?
Well, you kind of wigged out. All I did was offer you weed, and it was like you started yelling.
Right. I reacted very aggressively and looked kind of crazy. Now, what are some problems that could come up when someone reacts aggressively?
You look like a jerk. It's annoying. You're gonna piss people off.
Right. People who react aggressively tend to run over other people's feelings and opinions just to get whatever they want. And you're right, it can lead to hurt feelings and arguments.
I don't need any more arguments.
Right. So now that we've looked over the what not to do section, I want to go over a positive form of communication that can help. It's called assertive communication. And I want to go over this handout. Can you start by reading the nonverbal behaviors?
Okay. Make eye contact. Don't feel guilty about refusing alcohol or drugs.
And what do you think about those?
Well, if you don't make eye contact, people won't think you mean it, or they'll think you're weak.
Right, looking a person in the eye can make you sound more convincing, and it can help get your point across better. It's also important not to feel guilty when you're refusing, because what you do shouldn't affect anybody else's decision to use. You have the right not to use. Let me ask you this, is there a food that you really don't like that you just really hate?
Yeah. I hate lettuce.
And what do you hate about lettuce?
I just don't like the way it feels in my mouth, and I think it tastes bad.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and offer you some lettuce, and I want you to tell me no.
Okay?
I got this really fresh lettuce from the street market today. Let's make a salad for lunch.
No thanks, I don't want any.
Oh, come on. I'm sure you might not like lettuce from the grocery store, but this stuff is great. It's incredibly fresh. I just bought it today. If we put some cucumbers and carrots and dressing in it, it'll be perfect.
No, I don't want any. I really don't like lettuce.
But everybody likes lettuce. Come on, just eat a couple of leaves.
Stop asking me. I really don't want any. Like I said, I don't like lettuce.
How did it feel to say no?
It was no big deal. There was no way I'm eating lettuce.
Okay. Did you feel guilty?
No.
Why not?
Well, just because you like lettuce and want to eat it doesn't mean I have to.
Exactly. And that type of thinking is also important when thinking about drugs and alcohol. Just because somebody else wants to do something doesn't mean you have to do it. You have the right to refuse. Now, can you look over the verbal communication skills on the sheet?
Sure. Speak in a clear, firm voice. No should be your first word. Suggest something fun and safe to do instead. Change the subject. Avoid excuses or vague answers. If pressure continues, ask him or her to stop asking you to use.
And when you read these, what do you think?
They make sense. I think I do some of them already.
Which ones?
Well, if I don't want to use, I say no. And I think I'm usually pretty clear in how I speak.
Sounds like you're already using a couple of these, which is great. Let's practice now. I'm going to go ahead and offer you some weed, and I want you to turn me down using the skills that we talked about today. Now, don't only use the ones that you're familiar with using. Maybe try one that you've never used before, like changing the subject.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
All right. Let's go hit this blunt. Come on.
No, I don't want to.
Well, why not? It's not like you have anything else to do or anywhere else to be, and you always want to smoke.
I know, I just don't feel like it. I told you I'm trying to quit.
You can quit tomorrow.
Do you want to go shoot some hoops?
That was great. You did all the nonverbal cues. You made eye contact. You were firm. You said no right away, and no matter how many times I tried to convince you, you came up with something else to do instead. Nice job.
Yeah, thanks. It felt kind of good.